Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Good afternoon all, welcome to Apex Racing TV. Alex Simpson, Conrad Venter for the first round in the IndyCar Combined Series, Season 3, in association with the Sim Pit. Conrad, we've got a split race, we're shocked.
It's definitely a rarity. Maybe it's because it's the start of the season.
There were these split races last season when we were having a play, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were very much. We had a couple that nearly split, but most of the time it was only the one split.
Little bit of action going off now, just in the warm-up. We'll come to the grid very, very quickly, but yeah, just really want to give a shout out to Sean and the Sim Pit and Andreas as well, because they've put on this event, tried to organise a strength of field, and I think there was some questions as to whether or not they were actually going to get anything going, and to actually get a split on the first week is completely awesome. So big, huge shout out and thanks to those guys for arranging it. Hopefully this time slot will just go from strength to strength and we can see this week in, week out. We're going to be here, of course, every week broadcasting the road races. I'll be competing in the oval ones, but we'll be doing a live stream, like point of view live stream. Are you going to come and have a little play, Conrad, as well?
Yeah, I thought I can't leave you alone on a Monday morning, or a Tuesday morning rather, to have all the fun. So yeah, I'll definitely be joining in, and we'll throw out a little POV live stream as well.
Right, the guys are just finishing up their warm-up laps now. We're running short of time. I wonder if you can just quickly take us through the starting grid, please, Conrad.
Yeah, we've got Daniel Benefield as Aussie with an early morning in pole position, and then in second place we've got Ricardo. You have to excuse me for the surname, Chiavion. Hugh Reyna in third place, Nigel Marneef in fourth. And then we've got Matthew Hoyler that qualified in fifth, Martin Carroll in sixth place, and then on the fourth row is Robert Grosser and Andreas Werner, and we've got Joni Kajanen in ninth place, and joining him on the fifth row is Eric Davis.
Yeah, looking at those names, some familiar faces for us. We raced a few of them last season, some returning veterans. Vit Solomon there, I'm sure I've seen him like back in the day when I used to run the old car, so good to see some returning faces to the series as well.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit further down the grid there's quite a few names that we're familiar with. Everybody knows Sean Cole from the Sim Pit, of course, and then we've got Pierre Bourdon and Austin Espety that mostly ran with us on the oval side of things, I think, last season.
Well, of course, we've got just a half a pace lap around Montreal circuit. We haven't really talked about the track at all, Conrad. Tricky circuit, very bumpy. Those huge white curbs are going to come into play. The drivers, of course, are going to need to set the car up to be fairly forgiving. But of course that means that they're usually not that quick to react, so we'll see who does what, as Daniel pretty much lined it up very, very quickly. We've got a few blinkers out there, and that's caught a few people by surprise, but Benefield away really quickly, and look at the start that he's got. He's absolutely flown.
Yeah, I think he made use of the fact that you can pretty much just go one through that last chicane, just put his foot down to create a gap. And I mean, he should be very pleased with that. We've got a couple of guys that is playing it safe and starting from the pits as well.
Yeah, side-by-side action. Pierre just having a little look. He's got himself past Austin Espety there, so moves himself up into 11th place, just tucked up behind Sean Cole in that Sim Pit livery car, as you would expect. Just heard some little coming together there. I think that was John Burgess, was it? Just run a little wide, maybe a bit further back. There, someone just hopping over the curb, so yeah, a bit
just behind him was Vit Solomon that didn't quite make the second chicane. Oh yes, he looks like he just tagged Burgess a tiny bit. Everything looks okay, but it looks like Burgess got on the brakes a little bit earlier than he expected, and then took a trip across the chicane.
I have to say, Ricardo at the moment his car is blinking so much. That's just crazy. In and out all over the place, and yeah, it looks like Dan Bedingfield must have tagged the wall as well. We know he's just woken up, Australian, so looks like he's got a bit of damage on that rear wing. We might see a few Net Code Phantom hits around here at Montreal. We often do, but definitely looks like he's got some damage on that rear wing. But he's going to struggle to stay close to Ricciardo. I mean, yes, I have to say, my point of view is when you blink in that much, you get out of the way, because that's just not fair to the other competitors.
Yeah, it is. It's really difficult to race somebody. Just looking at the connections, it is not looking great for him, connection-wise. I think we might very well see him disconnect at some point or another.
Nigel Marneef moved his way up into third place. Of course, Marneef won one of the Indianapolis 500s just, well, what was it, about a month ago now. So Marneef just showing his hand on the roadside as well. Very competitive driver. Driving for HMB, I believe it is. The best team name ever, Hold My Beer Racing or something like that, I'm sure it is, so, but I love it, whatever. Team to my own heart there. Where's my beer?
It looks like we've got quite a spread, sort of through the top 7 or 8 guys already.
Yeah, Bedingfield definitely struggling out there. He's got that rear wing damage and it's slowing him up quite considerably, I think, just looking at those lap times there. So not easy to overtake here though, so as long as he can keep the car pointing forward, maybe he'll get some repairs during the pit stop, but he's going to back that pack up. But still, Ricciardo, yeah, flashing all over the place. I will be amazed if he stays connected that whole race.
I'm actually having a bit of trouble picking them up on my feed because of the blinking.
Andreas Werner just breaking away from Eric Davis, but he's got on there ahead of him. Werner, I've certainly raced against Andreas before, and he's a very accomplished road racer, so surprised to see him down in 8th place. I would have thought he'd have qualified a little bit higher, but definitely seems like he wants to make up some places. Fair to say a few of these guys might have just done the ISOWC league race as well that goes on before it, so I need to give a shout out to Will Vincent as well, usual IndyCar commentator. He's moved his league forward a little bit just to try and help this series on this time slot, and it actually has worked, an absolute treat. So a lot of work's gone into trying to make this time slot work from all different parties, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah, the IndyCars is a series that we've seen in the past before struggle a little bit with numbers, and it's nice to see people making an effort to try and promote the brand as such a little bit and get the numbers up.
Just jump on board with Nigel Marneef for a second. He's closing in big time now on Bedingfield. You can just see the rear wing there in the distance. On the right hand side, that rear wing just struggling a little bit.
It's just over half a second behind Daniel at the moment. I reckon your best chance to overtake is going to be on that straight down to the final chicane by the pit entry.
Yeah, Ricciardo is a very quick driver, so we're not surprised to see him up there. Bedingfield done a great job in qualifying, but yeah, so I don't know if he's a little bit heavy, but here comes Marneef. He's got a great run, using the push to pass, I'm sure. On the outside, he's going to breeze straight past Bedingfield before they even get into the braking zone. That's going to be move complete and up into second place for Marneef.
Just having a little look back, it seems like it was a little incident between Austin Espetit and Pierre Boudon.
Yeah, Pierre now in the pits. So when was that? Was that last lap or?
Lap 4. Turn 1, they just came together, trying to go side by side through turn 1, and that Pierre spun it off towards the left-hand side. Espetit's car seems to be fine, running okay.
Yeah, shame for Pierre to be out. Good to see actually a lot of oval drivers in this one as well. So definitely a few guys out there going for the combined championship. We'll try and keep you apprised to what's going on with the points in the official series, as well as the points for this particular championship that's being organised by. Just having a look as Andres gets very, very loose under braking. Just lock the rear wheels up there for a moment. Very easy to do. But yeah, so we'll keep you apprised on the points as well. What's going on in this and specific championship run by Sean and the guys at the sim pit.
SPT seems to be showing pretty good pace. It's just overtaking Sean Cole as well.
Sean having another little look back in the draft, decides better of it. It's I mean, SPT's also running for HMB, so same car as Marnif out there, and Marnif actually flying at the moment, not quite as quick as Ricardo, but still good pace. And I was watching the race before this, and Austin managed to take victory in that race, so definitely got a quick car underneath him and just working his way up through the pack. We'll keep an eye and see if he can close in on Eric Davis. He's got ahead of him now. Robert Grosner, Conrad. Robert Grosner closing on Martin Carroll as well. We know Robert, bit of a veteran in the IndyCar Road Series as well, so he's doing a pretty decent job out there. 0.8 of a second behind Martin at the moment. Martin's closing in on Mattia as well, ahead of him.
Yeah, they're all sort of doing similar lap times, but it looks like they're all using the draft effectively. You're going to have Andreas Werner joining that party pretty soon as well.
Yeah, it looks like they're all getting caught up behind Daniel. That rear wing damage that he's got, I have to say, it's not we didn't curse him this time.
Yeah, he managed to pick that damage up before we had a chance to curse him.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely seems to be affecting him. Although I just caught a glimpse of it there. It didn't look like it was as bad. I wonder if it was just a bit of like netcode phantom damage or something. And maybe he's just running really heavy or something like that, so we'll wait and see. When the pits, we're expecting one stop from the guys, no need for a second stop here, so
yeah, it's one thing with the series, you can you've got quite a wide range and when you want to take your pit stop. So it'll be interesting to see when everybody starts coming in and how they plan their races.
And normally we expect something along the lines of a small undercut as well, don't we? So the times seem to drop off a little bit as the run goes on with this IndyCar. Very different to some of like our normal broadcasts where we cover the FW31, where it seems to be the overcut seems to be the favour. So expect to see drivers jumping in early, try and get that undercut, get on fresh rubber, get out, try and pick up a couple of seconds or something like that while their competitors may be in the pack or whatnot. And yeah, so we might see some people jump in a little bit earlier than what we expect.
Yeah, the tyres is a big talking point on this car, and it's been like that over the past couple of seasons. And I think last season when you and I were running in this series, the only track where we really found it beneficial to try and stay out as long as possible was Watkins Glen. For all of the rest of it, we just sort of split the pit stop right down the middle.
Yeah, even at Watkins, if I remember rightly, I managed to get jumped by Tim Holgate. That was a great race that we had. That yeah, crazy early clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning for us it was. Yeah, that was awesome, and that was really what opened my eyes to the possibilities of the undercut. Normally, you take less fuel, you spend less time stationary, and that works to the advantage. But so much time up for grabs with the fresh rubber in this car, and you know, people really use it.
Seeing Martin Carroll and Matthew Hoyler and Daniel Benefield all just slowly but surely closing up to each other a little bit. Benefield just sort of toying with the 1:23s at the moment.
Yeah, he's having a little internet issue out there as well, so 2 of the 3 front guys really struggling with connection. Ricardo Steele's just doing exactly the same, blinking away. Unfortunately, I just can't bring him up on screen and show because he's just not there.
Yeah, I've tried to have a little look at him as well. It's just, you can't find him on your feed. It's just like he's absent for most of the lap. Oh, Matty just having a moment coming out of the second chicane, losing 2 positions there. And it's so easy to do with this car as well.
Yeah, absolutely it is. You just burn up the tyres and you know about it very, very quickly. Coming under a little bit of pressure now from Andreas Werner. Werner having a look into the hairpin. Werner's he's gone in very, very deep. That's going to cost him big time. Werner somehow not able to quite get the run on him, mind you. Just missed what happened there. Just perhaps not quite a good exit. Got a little bit of wheel spin or something there, but I would have thought he would have had the run. Certainly didn't use any push to pass. Didn't close in at all down that back straight. Oh, and actually just skims the tyre wall next to the wall of champions. Got away with it. Doesn't appear to be any damage.
They spread out pretty quickly at the start of the race, but it looks like they're just slowly but surely closing up to each other again. It's going to get, it looks like it's going to get tasty at some point or another. Just maybe before the pit stops, we might see a bit of overtaking as the tyre wear starts kicking in and guys struggling a little bit.
Yeah, that's going to be the all-important time. That'll be when we'll see people maybe opting to jump in the pits. We're not quite up to the halfway, maybe 17, 18 is when I'm expecting to see pretty much everybody in, but might be a little bit before that.
Nigel Marnie is pretty comfortable in second place at the moment. We're almost 5 seconds clear of Daniel Benefield.
Oh, we've got a spinner. That is Robert, I think, has just spun. He has into the hairpin. There behind him as well. Got caught up in it a little bit. No contact, but had to run wide. So Grosner down to 7th place after that.
Oh, Matthew caught his right rear or left rear with his front right going into that hairpin, under braking. There's nothing Matthew could have done about that. It was just, he had nowhere to go.
Ah, yes, exactly. There's me thinking he just lost it on the braking, but yeah, you're right. Just a little tag from behind, sent him around, lost him a couple of places. Robert will be a bit frustrated with that, I'm sure. Yeah, just one of those things, so tricky going into that hairpin there. The braking, just especially with this Dallara, you want to have the brake bias a little bit further back than perhaps you're completely happy with, and yeah, sometimes you can just miss your point, overheat the tyres, and the car just carries on straight into that runoff area.
And the other thing with this car as well, apart from being so careful on the brakes, is the moment you start, you spin the car, you light up the rear tyres. It doesn't just take half a lap or a lap for it to come back to itself and have normal performance. You pay for it with for the rest of the stint. Someone's in the barrier on the way to the last.
I think it's Benningfield. It might be Benningfield. Am I still watching on a replay? I am indeed. There he goes around, spins it round. Everybody just manages to avoid him as he gets the car recovered. Oh, and then he loses it again. That's his rear tyres, of course, overheated, and just lights them up trying to get the power down. He's having a mare. That's definitely got some damage on that car. I don't see it. But yeah, he's just struggling out there, and now comes out just in front of, or actually going to lose some more places now. Tyres are absolutely cooked, and that's what happens. That's how sensitive these tyres are to the heat. These version 5 tyres, you overheat them, and it takes them ages. We haven't finished with what's going on with Dan, we're just going to stay with it. He's going to come into the pits. I think he is actually, as he dropped back.
He's taking his pit stop at the moment. We've got a new front wing, and he's on his way. Yeah, that's just exactly the point that I was making before he spun that car. I mean, we could see after he lost it coming out of that chicane how much he was struggling just to keep the car on track, and as he goes through the first chicane he hits the wall again. It's just, yeah, it's not... Surely we couldn't have cursed him, because he's not having a good one, is he?
No, not at all. Here comes Austin Espetit for what is now 8th place. Great move, brakes, catches the white sausage curve there. Car settles down quite nice actually, and he's away, but he's coming under a bit of pressure. He has to go defensive into turn 1, but I think he's managed to hold on to that position.
I think Oiler's going to struggle a little bit as well, because he had that contact in the hairpin a couple of laps ago, and his front wing isn't looking too great either.
Lost a couple of guys out there at the moment, just stationary at the moment as well. So yeah, we lost Pierre.
It looks like we lost Satoru Ono on that last lap as well. He's in the pits without a nose on the car.
Yeah, and Rayner never actually started either, did he? Hasn't put a lap in at all, so not sure what that was all about. Ricardo still blinking away, coming down the straights. We just managed to catch a couple of glimpses of him there, so...
Luckily, the good thing about that is he's about 5.5 seconds clear of second place Marnief. Then it's not at the moment like it's negatively affecting anybody else on track.
Yeah, I'm just amazed he stayed connected. Just yeah, Ricardo, tell your brother, get off the stop downloading the torrents. That's what's doing it.
Absolutely.
Packs really started to spread apart. The closest battle we've actually got on track now is between John Burgess and Sean Cole. So Sean's been around about that sort of 10th place pretty much all race. Not really done any major improvements. It's worth pointing out actually, I spoke to Sean, he broke his toe I think a few days back now. So he's just trying to nurse that, and I have to say Montreal is probably the one circuit you don't want to be trying to drive with a broken toe. All the stop and start around this place, rather than somewhere like Watkins that's a lot more flowing, wouldn't be quite so much much punishment. So I am feeling for him at the minute, I have to say.
Oh, well, it depends on which toe he broke. Is it the one he's using the gas with, or the brake pedal?
But yeah, it's a good question actually. I didn't ask.
I reckon it should be a lot easier working the gas pedal with a broken toe as opposed to the brake. The brake would just be a nightmare. I mean, Sean is a guy that I raced against quite a few times last season. We were sort of in the same pace range, and he's very consistent and a very fair racer as well.
I know certainly he's set his targets a little bit higher this season and wants to try and improve, all to do with his positive mental attitude, so wish him all the best. Austin Espetit just up on screen at the moment, closing in on the back of Robert now, so Austin definitely bringing that Hold My Beer car up to the front. I'm requesting a name change for the team, Conrad. We've got to come up with something a bit more inventive than Apex Racing when you've got teams out there called Hold My Beer.
Well, I've always thought that Team Cheese and Wine is not a bad idea.
If anyone didn't catch one of our previous broadcasts, just check it in the video section. But Team Cheese and Wine managed to get, was it third or second?
Yeah, John managed to drive that car home in our charity race last week, from last on the grid to second place.
Yeah. So
obviously the Cheese and Wine was doing something good for him.
Yeah, we're all missing the gig really, so you've got to have inventive team names to get good results and good cars. So Nigel Money sat in second place. Austin's working his way up through the pack. looking at his pace, he's definitely got the pace to get up into the top 5 at this point, as a lot of drivers jump into the pits. That's close under braking. I thought for a minute there was going to be contact.
Yeah, that was close. Robert Gross has already got had a bump on the car, so he might have a bit of panel beating going on in that pit stop.
Keep an eye on this little 3. Everybody else is just filtering through now. Austin first one to hit his box. See how long these stops are going to be.
Pit stops are so important. Austin away first.
9.1.
It's going to beat them up. Yeah.
Quite comfortably,
Sean
actually.
Cole coming into the pits in the background as well.
I'm not sure what's going on with Robert, but he's up in the 18 seconds at the moment. That'd be repairs when it, of course, he got collected earlier on. So, Matthew with 10.1, so he 10.2, so he loses 1.2 seconds there in the pits as well. So Austin quite comfortably out ahead of those guys, and I have to say now's the time for him to put in some lap times on fresh rubber. Drivers ahead of him staying out. You never know, he might be able to jump a couple more in the pits here.
Oh, we've just had John G. Hill, Mr. Lotus 79, come into the pits, and he's beaten Sean Cole off pit road as well.
Yeah, Sean was 17.6 second stop. That's ever so long. I wonder if that was maybe a bit of speeding or something going on there. Got a little stop and hold.
One thing I noticed last season, especially for somebody like myself, I was mostly running sort of in the midfield, is how important your in and out lap along with your pit stop was. I found that more often than not that if I could nail those 3 elements in a race, it'll either give me the position I was holding or give me an extra 1 or 2 positions, and that's something I pay a lot of attention to before we went into races.
Martin Carroll out of the pits. He's served his one. So's Nigel Marneef. He pitted and was out. Marneef did it in 7.9 seconds, so good stop from him. Might be able to close in on Ricciardo. I wonder how far Ricciardo's going. If I'm expect anything, I think Ricciardo will just cover Marneef off by coming in this lap regardless of the plan. Eric Davis still hasn't pitted out there yet, so that's Eric's going to try and do it via the overcut method, and as little fuel as he possibly needs to put in, shortest time stationary.
Yeah, it's just Ricciardo's coming into the pits now along with David Hinger.
Yeah, we'll try and get our leader up on screen for a moment. There he is. There he is. There he is. So, yeah, still, I'm afraid, still really bad. He's so lucky not to have got disconnected. I've seen servers just... here comes Marneef, though. This is actually very, very close. Definitely closed up quite considerably. Looking at it, it's probably 2 seconds, so very slow stop. What was... If I can get Ricciardo on screen for long enough to bring up the pit stop time, 8.4 seconds. Yeah, so half a second he lost in the pits there. Marneef looking pretty strong, I have to say. Not sure he's going to get able to get past though if he gets up to him. I mean, Ricciardo's connection has sort of settled down a bit, but he's still disappearing for large chunks.
They had very similar in laps. Nigel did a 138.8 on his end lap, and like I say, Ricciardo did a 138.1, so he's actually quicker on his in lap than Marneef was, but somehow Marneef managed to close that gap quite considerably.
Esparti up into the 5th place, like we said, might happen once the pit stops have all panned out. So he just about got the jump there on our P6, but he's got Andreas Werner some 6.1 seconds up the road. That's quite a tall order to catch him up, and Werner was lapping similar sort of times before they pitted as well, so it's going to take a mistake, I think, from Werner. Maybe if Werner catches up to Carroll, currently 2.1 seconds back, those guys start battling, then maybe Austin's got a chance to progress up a little bit further.
I've just seen Daniel Benefield after his early race woes has made up another place, just overtaking Eric Davis going into the hairpin.
Davis having a little look back, just doesn't quite have the straight line speed. I'm guessing Daniel's car's repaired now, doing similar lap times to what he was earlier on. What's this one? 1:24.3. So yeah, a bit quicker than what he was. So definitely think whatever damage he had has been repaired in the pits. 9.9 second stop for Daniel.
That's the one good thing with the DW12. I only learned when.
Maybe he hits the wall again. It's so tricky here to know whether or not that's actually a wall strike or not. That's the only thing. It's we often hear those sort of netcode collisions.
It's such an easy track to get things wrong on as well.
Looking back from Austin's right rear suspension here. Got John there behind him. 0.8 of a second. They Austin just got him in the pits. Lap times actually slightly slower, so gonna have a fair bit of pressure, I think, for the rest of this stint. It's got 11 laps to go.
Come on, he slows up the gap to the front now as well. Just under 2 seconds behind Ricardo.
Yeah, let's just have a quick look at that now, because you can see him start to close in. I'll say when he gets to about the 0.7 of a second, that's when I think he's going to really struggle, just because I'm not going to know where Ricardo is. You know, I know when I'm in that position, so difficult. You know, when do you try and go for a move with someone who's, you know, not on the track half the time?
Yeah, I suppose it depends on how much you want that win in the end. If you're willing to settle for second place, then you'd be more than happy just to sort of keep a distance and take the position. But I mean, from my point of view, it's not much you can do about it, is there? So I mean, just drive your race, and if you get close, just hope for the best.
See, that's the awkward thing there. I mean, on my screen, just for a split second there, it looked like Ricardo was in the wall. Now was he? Did Nigel see the same thing? Did he check up there and lose a bit of time because he was worried there was going to be a crash car ahead? I mean, that's the problem that Nigel now suffers. I know there is something within the regulations that say if your connection is that bad that, you know, you need to kind of like get out the way and respect the drivers around you. So maybe this is one of the times when that comes in. I'm certainly sure Nigel's not going to protest it or anything like that, but you know, I don't even know if Ricardo knows that he's blinking out like crazy.
Yeah, I know somebody mentioned it in the spectator chat earlier on, but yeah, nothing. I don't think anybody mentioned anything on the voice chat.
Definitely dropped a little bit of time that lap as well, so he got close, and yeah, although it's almost impossible to tell because the gap just keeps going up and down every time car disappears and reappears again. So
the gap at the end of the previous lap was 1.5 seconds. It looks like Marnie lost about 4/10 on the previous lap. But it's like you say, if he sees the driver in front of him, you know, in the wall all of a sudden, then back on track, most likely he left it a little bit to try and avoid a crashing car.
Yep, Sean just about to go a lap down here. Just going to let Ricardo go. Also poses the problem for the back markers as well, because, you know, they don't really know where he is as well. So Sean running just a little bit wide. It's not close enough to get through. Just gets out of the gas. Marnief getting closer again round the outside of Sean as well. John G. Hill up next for these two. It's the closest battle on track, so we'll stick with it. Everybody else is over a second away from each other at the moment. And he's definitely closing back in again. So these two have been pretty much the class of the field at the moment. When you see the time there just on the left, so almost 20 seconds clear of Martin Carroll now in third. Carroll himself got 7.5 seconds gap to Werner. Espiti though, 2.6 seconds behind Werner. That gap's slowly coming down, although I say slowly. Last lap it was 3 seconds, so something must have gone on to Andres there.
Yeah, his last lap was a 1 minute 27.8 and SPT did a 124.6, so I think Werner must have had some trouble somewhere. I mean, 1 or 2 more of those spins and SPT is going to be right with him. Yeah, coming to the end of this lap, Marnie was only a second behind Ricardo.
Lost a little bit of time as far as I can tell this lap though. Have a quick little look at the other sectors, see what they've been doing. I can't even get a sector reading out of Ricardo as well because he's blinking that much. Not even show me the sector times. He keeps flashing in there and flashing out, so yeah, who knows.
I'm pretty sure I've seen people before where they've been blinking that much, and when they get to the end of the race and they blink while they're going over the start finish line, they fail to register, and I'm pretty sure it's cost people wins before.
Yeah, I've seen the clock smash as well. I mean, one comes to mind as one of the World Championship races. I think it was Oli Picala and Hugo Louis. They had themselves miss a lap completely, so be careful of that. Oh, this battle's starting to really get tasty now, although Austin just gets a little out of shape through the slightly quicker left-right section there before the second chicane, but Werner only 0.9 of a second ahead at the moment.
I mean, while those two are battling away, we're going to see Kayanen closing up to them as well.
Yeah, just a 1 second back right now. This is what the sector time should look like when one of the cars isn't flashing. So Werner definitely the slowest one out there at the moment. 5th and 6th pretty much identical lap times there. Sorry, sector times. Going through sector 2. What are we going to see? Oh, Werner makes a big mistake with getting very close to the world champion. Surely Austin got an opportunity into turn 1. They're going to be side by side. Austin's going to have the high ground for turn 2. He gets his nose alongside. Werner has to concede. Oh, makes a little mistake. Surely that's going to leave the door open. No, he cuts back in. Oh no, he's. Oh, I'm lost. Great racing. Oh. Quick recovery there for 14 of Jon there.
We'll go with Kayanen.
Kayanen, yeah. Apologies. Come and correct us. We'll get it right for the next time. But yep, in his Hellman's car. Puts him all the way down to 8th place that spin. So Espiti, I said that he looked quick up into 4th place. Great little battle between those two.
Oh, that incident there just again shows when you start fighting another car a little bit, and you just try and get on the gas that little bit sooner than you normally do, how easily you can lose the back end of the car with the rear tires taking a beating with the temperature.
Yeah, I mean, people probably won't appreciate when we say how sensitive the car is to to the temperature, but you really have just got to push it a little bit harder than normal, and you know the grip just disappears off of this this car, and you just like it falls off the edge of the cliff really, and the car just slips and slides all over the place, and it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse, and at some point you just have to literally get out of it and just let those rears cool down, and it costs you maybe 2 or 3 seconds over a couple of laps just to get them back in check, and then you can start attacking again. But yeah, it's certainly going to be tricky, and I think from what we hear, there's more and more cars and series going to have dynamic weather, and we're obviously waiting for the dynamic track surface to come in. That's really going to make a huge difference as we're back looking at the battle up front, just 0.8 between them. I heard some contact somewhere, or was that just Ricciardo coming back, you know, morphing back onto the track?
Yeah, it might well have been. Yeah, I mean, he's blinking so much we won't even pick up if he really crashes.
No, you're right. A cynical man would say, you know, oh, he's running a lag squidge or something like that, wouldn't they? So, yeah. I'm sure he'll be delighted with the victory, but I have to say, Ricciardo, from a non-biased point of view here, you just would be impossible to overtake. No one can take the chance. You just don't know where he is. Like now, I mean, Nigel's so close, but does he know where he is? It's hard to follow him in the draft because he's, you know, just changing lines when he's blinking. Who knows? You can have a little look though. Surely, Monteith, he's got to run. He's not even getting the toe, is he? When the car disappears as well. That's the other thing.
Oh, he's losing out on precious draft.
I can't even do the comparison with the speeds, I'm afraid, either. So, yeah, apologies. All we can do is see what we see on screen.
Oh, what would you do in that situation? Would you go for the overtake and just you know, like hope that the other guy leaves the space there for you?
The thing is, I think as much as you would want to go for it, you just don't know where he is, so you don't know when to go. That's the thing. You've got no idea whether you're alongside or what. It's just yeah, it's just impossible to get past in this situation. I think if you try and go for it, you just crash into each other. Very, very close though. 0.4 going into the hairpin. Monty surely would get a run. This time comes out of the hairpin, loses a little bit of time there.
It'd be interesting to know if any of them two has still got any push to passes left.
What I will say is I can just about see the speeds, and it does look like Ricciardo is a little bit faster even in a straight line when Marnief's tucked up in the draft. So I have to say, I don't think Marnief would be able to get past, even if Ricciardo did have a stable connection. So going down that straight there, the gap actually extended slightly. So Marnief probably running just a touch more downforce on the Dallara, using the speed through the corners.
And just a little update as well. It looks like Daniel Benefield's nightmare of a race has come to an end as well. That was about 4 or 5 laps ago. But yeah, he's disconnected and he's called it a day as well.
Yeah, Daniel just woken up as well. It does take a little while just to get yourself fresh, doesn't it, when you wake up jumping straight into a race. Still, you have to feel for the Australians sometimes. Most of these races seem to be around sort of Euro-friendly times, and this one perhaps a little bit late for mainland Europe, but yeah, just so difficult for the Aussies to find a race in anything bar the V8 supercar, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you and I would exactly know how he feels when we stayed up until was it 3-4 o'clock in the morning last season to do the Monday night strength of field races.
Yeah, well, it's 4
On
o'clock
the
by the
roadside.
time we finished, wasn't it? So yeah, it's just crazy, absolutely knackered. So
I mean, you had a little sleep beforehand, and
Yep.
then wipe the sleep out of your eyes and start practicing. And by the time we'd finish the race, the sun would start coming up outside, and it was literally a 2-day operation to do each race. You
Yeah,
had to
it was.
sacrifice the Monday and the Tuesday to do the race.
yeah, absolutely so tired the day after, and you just can't sleep either, can you? So you just get pumped full of adrenaline. So yeah, it just doesn't happen. Having a little look, Werner in 5th place, coming under a little bit of pressure from Mattia here. 5th and 6th place, just 0.4 of a second separating them. I'll let you know if anything changes in the next couple of laps. Up ahead, hopefully, if Nigel gets to run, we'll catch that on screen. These guys getting very tasty at the moment. We saw Werner must be struggling a little bit out there because he had his spin, didn't he? Oh no, what was it? I'm trying to think. No, it wasn't. Was it? It was the 14 car there, wasn't it? Early one that at the moment. So take it back.
I'm just looking back to lap 27. Sean Cole has had his car in the wall as well through the second chicane. It's just going into the second part of the chicane. The back end came around and it hit the wall.
Well, something's gone on, Conrad. We need to jump back because all of a sudden, Marnef's in the lead. So let's have a little look on the replay, see what happened. So just looking at Ricardo here, through the chicane, we're going off towards the hairpin. Hopefully we'll catch the final lap as they cross the line. Everything looks straightforward. Maybe, I mean, Marnie's quite a way behind at this point. Maybe Ricardo just gets it all wrong in the final corner through the maybe collects the wall of champions. Let's have a look. Oh, it just gets very sideways out there, and yeah, Marnef just. I don't think he'd have been able to react to that if he'd have actually spun onto the actual racing line, but fortunately spun off Ricardo there, and Marnef's going to come through and take victory. Here he is on the main straight, just the chicane to negotiate. Doesn't attack it at all, plays it very, very safe, and rightly so. Comes across, takes victory. What a great drive, and wins the first round of the IndyCar Combined Series Championship at Montreal in association with the Sim Pit.
Oh, we can't say that wasn't deserved. He worked his way up and had a great pit stop, and we closed the gap down to Ricardo, and pretty much drove a faultless race.
Yeah, absolutely great drive from him. Unlucky for Ricardo. I have to say, Ricardo, I think that's probably the fairest result, if I'm completely honest. Might not agree, but yeah, you were impossible to even have an attempted overtake on. Andreas Werner comes across in 5th, holds on to that. Austin Espiti in the other HMB car in 4th. Robert Grosvenor coming across in 7th as well. We've just got a few other runners just going across. John Burgess just a little bit further back from Eric Davis. Here comes Eric. Eric always runs that, what I would like to call the old Williams, the old Cannon Williams liveried car. It looks great.
Yeah, I've seen that livery on a couple of cars, and it doesn't matter which one you put it on, it always looks good. But yeah, we had a Nigel starting 4th, managed to work his way all the way up into the lead on the last lap. But surely the guy that has got my driver of the day is Austin Espiti. Started 13th, finished 4th, and around the track where it's this difficult to overtake, that's a cracking drive. Yeah,
I think I would agree with that as well. Just noted a little graphic error. Hopefully we'll sort that out for the next race. But yeah, fantastic drive from Austin, moving himself up into 4th, and I'd definitely give him my my driver of the day as well. I think we're going to have a little chat with Sean at some point. He's going to pop in here for a little interview just to talk about the series, what he's planning to do, and bits and bobs in a moment. So what we'll do, we'll go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back and we'll have a quick chat with Sean, and we'll wrap up this after show. Back to Apex Racing TV post-race show interview here from round one. Joined by Andres and Sean. Welcome, fellas. I just want to say first off, what an awesome turnout we've had for the first round of this. Who would have thought when you sorted this out at the start of the week we'd have had a split race today?
I certainly didn't expect it. That was amazing. Fortunately, that meant I ended up in the second split, but it was great to see so many people here.
Well, I was going to come to that in a second. Actually, unfortunately, I saw your post on the YouTube channel straight away saying you're blast. I'm in the second split. I take it that race didn't go too well for yourself either, because you were in there commenting a lot more a bit early.
Oh yeah, no, I was talking to Martin Carroll on TeamSpeak. He told me a couple of tricks he did in the last race. So I turned up the front anti-roll bar and just got major oversteer. Really, it was I don't know why I made such a last-minute adjustment. That was stupid. But I don't think I caused too much chaos around me.
Of course, you'll be hoping to get into the top split next week, and that's assuming we have a top split. I really hope we do, and I hope this turns into a great thing. So, but what sort of number were you in the second split?
I was car number 5, and I was P2 on the grid.
Yeah, so close then. So a couple hundred I rating might get you what you need then.
Yeah, probably. Had it not been for week 13, I might have been in there probably.
Yeah, I saw the post random MX5 races, eh? Yeah,
that's never a good idea.
Yeah, never. And Sean, just to turn it over to yourself, obviously we commented on the stream that you're a bit of the wounded man out there at the moment with your toe. Obviously, as well, we just spoke off air just a second. You run out of fuel, you were saying, coming into the pits.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's my pride that is a lot more wounded than my toe at this point.
And, that set you back quite a bit there, and no real chance to recover from that, really.
No, that put me really far back, and then at that point, I just started pushing too hard, and, I didn't have enough laps. I had a really difficult week just getting ready for the race. So, I mean, and I'm not blaming anything on that because I actually felt pretty good. But it actually, I was still kind of learning out there. And, yeah, when I started pushing, I just got dangerous and I overheated the tires. And, it wasn't pleasant. I ended up looping it a couple times, finally put it in the wall, pick up too much damage, and finished 14th, which is rather disappointing, 4 laps down.
Well, the way it carries on, there's definitely an opportunity to pick up on some big points moving forward. Just quickly wanted to turn the attention to the series itself rather than the actual race. People that might be watching this back now or that have tuned in for the first time don't really know what it was. I wonder if you could just give us a little brief outline of what you're planning to do for the rest of the season and the series in general.
You want to start, Sean?
Yeah, I'll tell it from my perspective. I mean, before I even get to my personal motives, the IndyCar series was a lot of fun last season, and there was a lot of great cooperation. We did a lot of testing with people who aren't our teammates, and the amount of generosity amongst the core group there was so strong, but it was kind of hard to find that real central group that could race later in the week. There's always been an early in the week race, but that didn't work for everybody. So I just kind of wanted to create something that was that. Also something that it meant that I could help anybody. So anybody who wanted to come into the series, I and the rest of my teammates could help them all week long prepare for the race. If it's done early in the week, I can't help people out, can't give them or share our setup. And that's just kind of the mentality behind the sim pit. And when we started the series, it was like, let's go one step further. Instead of just being participants, why don't we make sure that people really understand what we're doing, have a place they can come, know they can find us at least a good setup as I'm running, which 14th place, I'm not sure that's a great setup to run. But, nonetheless, a place that was really about fun and learning and getting better. And at the same time, as you saw today, some very, very good competition as well.
Yeah, and Andreas, just a quick word from yourself as well.
Yeah, no, I think he said pretty much everything needed. I mean, we just wanted to contribute to this community and hopefully attract some more high strength of field races, so people could have several chances throughout the week to get some good points. And we didn't really expect such a good turnout. One of the main reasons, well, at least that's what I thought, one of the main reasons behind actually creating a separate championship was because we didn't expect a big enough turnout for it to be a high points paying race in terms of official points. So that's great to see.
And just a word about where they can find all the information for the the standalone series within the series, if you know what I mean.
Oh, go ahead, Andreas.
Everything will be on thesimpit.com, and we'll make sure to update the forum post on iRacing as well. But if you want to follow the standings and so forth, we'll put everything on our website, thesimpit.com.
Of course, it's not just us that are broadcasting. There's going to be some point of view streams as well. I know yourself, you've done one. I'm going to do one on the Oval Weeks. Got anyone else doing that, or is it just us at the moment?
No one's reported back on that yet, but we hope people want to join in on the fun and wants to show there.
Yeah, we'll twist some arms later and get some more people in there.
Exactly, that's right, yeah.
I think, is this Marty, your teammate? Hello? Yep. Yeah, let's quickly drag him up as well, because Martin Carroll joins us here at Apex Racing TV. Martin, good result for yourself, first round? Must be delighted.
Oh, I'm absolutely ecstatic, and big thanks to Sean and Andreas for organising the series, and I was able to get my STC Motorsports Sim Pit Racing Dallara up into P3 and on the podium today, so it was a pretty good race. We had a solid hot rod underneath us, and a few of the guys seemed to just it was a little bit slippery out there, and you had to be delicate with these things, as you all know, and everyone just sort of spread the sea, so to speak, and but how good was Nigel up front dealing with Ricardo? I was just watching that all race. I was cruising around P3, and that was excellent win to him, and good race to Ricardo, so blinking and all.
Yeah, fully deserved victory from Nigel. We were commenting about it up here in the box as well. So difficult to follow that close behind when you got a car blinking away like that. But yeah, third place. Yeah, good start to the season. Kept yourself out of trouble, like you say. Montreal, it's a tricky circuit at the best of times. Very stop and start, really demanding on the rear tyres. And you know, as we were touched on, the temperature is such a key thing, keeping the rears in check. And this circuit really does punish them. So straightforward strategy for yourself today. I mean, is it something you would contemplate maybe going for a longer strategy, or was it always just to get it in around the halfway mark?
No, I was planning on going to lap 19. John Hill sort of got a few of the boys together yesterday to sort of run a test race yesterday. I've driven the DW12 quite a bit, but sort of I've never really done any serious racing with it. It was probably my 6th race in my whole iRacing career with it on the road. But done a lot of work with Sean and Andreas, and you know, as we work together, you know, during the week. So yeah, no, it was quite good having that hit out yesterday, and I ran long yesterday, and it worked beneficial. But like you say, I actually got caught there behind Nige when Daniel was a bit slow. He was backing us up a little bit. You know, it's unfortunate for the Daniel Benefield fan club that's out there that he didn't finish with.
Yeah, I think
but
he
just
hit the wall early, didn't he? Got some damage or something like that. So
yeah, and it just, you know, once you lose that 10k an hour down the straights, you're just waiting to get picked off. So, but yeah, I was just, when you're running close to the other cars too, you get that aero push and you overheat the tyres, and it's so delicate to get the tyres back to temperature. It's you know, allows the guys behind you to catch up, and if you try and push that little bit, you know, it's so easy to make a mistake around Montreal.
hearing from Ricardo, actually just posting away on the YouTube at the moment, apologising for his connection. He could see everyone perfect, so he didn't realise it was going on during the race. So yeah, he sent his apologies for that, which is good to hear from Ricardo. So
yeah,
there's nothing worse.
Nigel's had quite a lot of patience, and even for the guys back in the pack, like just having your relative flicking on and off all the time is quite distracting. And when he went to the pit lane, I got told by, you know, my spotter that leader was in pit lane 20 times. So it was quite a little bit distracting for the guys back in the pack, not just the guys in front, like on his tail. So, but you know, it's not I've seen him race before without no problems before. So everyone has them every now and then.
And just a question to everyone, obviously it's Auto Club next week on the Oval. Who's going to be there? Who's not going to be there?
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll turn up for sure.
Good. What we like to hear.
It's only got 4 corners, though. Should be good.
We'll need you, Marty, to make the sim pit look good once again.
Yeah, no
they're
kidding.
representing, so that's all right.
I can tell you that our Michigan set was not adequate, so we're not exactly starting from a strong point.
Well, I mean,
I'll look after you.
I'll let you into a secret. Actually, I used my Michigan set as the basis for the Rose Series round that I did recently, and it does need a few tweaks, but actually it shouldn't be a bad place to start.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good oval squad there, and we do a bit of work with the tin tops over on that sort of thing, so I'm sure we'll be able to get the brains trust together and work something out for the open wheel car there.
Well, it'd be interesting to see how it all pans out as well, because there's a lot of the American drivers had it their own way. They'll be cursing me now. We're trying to stick it to them because you know, we want to come up and show them what's what. So it'd be great to see you guys up there. I know obviously the all the Apex guys, us British are going to try and get involved in it as well. So should be.
And you can tell Daniel, I feel
race.
he's pain getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh god, yeah. So he come on about 10 minutes before the start of the race, all bleary-eyed and going, "Oh, I've just woke up." So.
So he's young. He'll learn. You know, he'll learn to get up and warm up.
Well, thanks very much, fellas. I'm going to wrap up the broadcast. Great race out there today. Well done, Martin and Sean. Yeah, well done. Andreas, better luck next time. Let's hope we see you in that top split. But thanks very much. for coming here, setting all this up. Conrad, my co-commentator, thank you once again, buddy. Everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button, share, subscribe, do all that goodness. Let's get this series out there as much as we can. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back for a broadcast in a couple of weeks' time, but around this time, we'll be hitting the ovals, and I'll be doing a point of view stream. If you want to have a laugh, come in and come and watch that. But thanks very much for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you then.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com. simulated race